Welcome to Heath Riles BBQ. Today we're going to be tackling double cut bone-in pork chops. I'm going to reverse sear them on the Golden's cast iron grill. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that when we go with the charcoal lit. Now, just to tell you something about our pork chops, we're actually cooking a bone-in loin from Heritage Cheshire Farms in North Carolina. They were generous enough to send me this loin. I'm going to cut it down in my own chops. If you don't want to order from them, you can always go to your butcher and tell them you want a bone-in chop about 2 inches thick. Yeah. All right, today you're in for a treat. We're going to be cooking on the Golden's cast iron cooker, of course with our royal oak charcoal and barbecue smoker wood. Now, to tell you what's really unique about this grill, and look at those geese flying over. It's made out of all cast iron, so it's never going to break or crack on you or anything. It's a great Kamada style cooker if you're in the market for one. Now, I've already got my charcoal poured in, and I'm going to go ahead and get my cubes lit right here. I've set up for a 2-zone fire. We'll go ahead and get my grates in here and get them set and ready, and get ready to reverse sear these chops. Now, all I've done to this loin right here is take it out of the pack and dry it off. Now I'm going to cut it into some nice thick chops. Now I'm kind of going to go in between the bones here, and I'm going to lay them out. Nice chop. Now I'm going to count 2 bones over. Look at that. These are going to turn out to be some really nice chops. Now I'm going to leave a little bit of fat on there because I like a little bit when it chars up. Yeah, I'm going to go 2 bones over again. I'm going to have a little bit of an end section left. That's going to be the pitmaster snack right there. Yeah. Look at those gorgeous chops. Yeah. Now we're going to get these seasoned up with a little bit of our everyday rub and a little bit of our honey chipotle. And then we're going to get them on that grill. I'm going to start with a little bit of a binder. You can use olive oil, mustard, or any other kind of oil you like. I just happen to have some grapeseed oil here with me at my shop. So I'm going to go ahead and spray them down and to use them on the chops. You can see it's kind of, the way it comes out, you kind of got to protect yourself from getting it all over you. I think I'm doing more damage squirting this everywhere than I am getting it on the chops. Now that all the chops have got a little bit of oil on them, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my everyday rub, which is my salt, pepper, garlic blend. And I just want a little bit of a savory note on the chops. Now, I'm going to go ahead, and you can put a good heavy coat of this right here. This is my honey chipotle rub. Now, it's just my honey rub with a little bit of chipotle powder in it. Now, I'm going to turn these chops up. I'm going to go on all 4 sides with it. Now, the great thing about these, cutting them so thick, they're going to retain a lot of moisture. And that's what we're looking for, a lot of moisture. I'm going to go ahead and flip them on this, the fat side up. Use a little more everyday rub. And we're going to come back with a little more honey chipotle. And I like going a little heavy-handed because I know we're going to let it sweat in. I know some of it's going to come off during the cooking process, transferring it on the grill, all that. So it's really not that big of a deal. I know a lot of people act like putting a lot of rub on is a sin, but it's actually not. I mean, you want flavor, and flavor is what we want to give you. I have a little bit of a motto: life is too short for ordinary barbecue. We're going to let these chops hang out for about 20 minutes while the grill comes up to temp. After that, we're going to get them on, and we're going to reverse sear them. As you can see, we've got our cooker up to about 225 degrees. I mean, honestly, I don't care if it runs on up to 250. We're just going to kind of keep it stable. And so the first thing I want to do is actually raise my grate up here and put a chunk of hickory wood in. I'm only going to use 1 chunk and make sure it gets in there on top of the charcoal. Now, take that off. And now all I'm going to do is go ahead and get these chops in here. Now, I'm going to try to form these and stuff them up here. where we can get them double smoked. Now that Pitmaster's piece is a little thin, I'm going to go ahead and chunk it over here on this side. Now, we're going to get them and we're going to let them go for about 20-25 minutes. I'm going to check and see where they're at. Probably going to use my chef's alarm after that. Get a probe in them. I'm going to cook them to about 125 degrees. Pull them off, get my fire hot, get ready to put a glaze on them and char them up. Running about 250 degrees, 260. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flip my chops. They're getting close to about 90 degrees. You can see how they are right now. They've been on for about 25 minutes. I've also thrown on some sweet potatoes I'm grilling for us for dinner tonight. Got them on there smoking around the edge with a little bit of pecan wood on them. We're going to let these cook for about another 20 minutes and we're going to check them again. They should be where they need to be, about 125-ish degrees, somewhere from there, where we can get that fire cranked up, let them rest, and get them seared off. Now we're going to make a glaze for our pork chops here. I'm going to use about a cup of my tangy vinegar sauce. Now I'm going to come back with about a cup of orange marmalade also. Now what I want to do, I'm going to get this reduced down and get it thickened up a little bit. And that's what I'm going to brush the chops with when I grill them off and put a char on them. These chops have been on here right at 40 minutes. And so my timer's about to go off, so I'm going to get in the grill and check it. I've actually been on there putting on some sweet potatoes and some asparagus. Alright, so my chops hitting 118, 119, 120. 120. 121. That one's 122. This one's actually 124. So you can see we're going to go ahead and we're going to get these pulled, and then we're going to let them rest while I crank the fire up. Alright, I've got my glaze all warmed up here. I've got my chops off the grill. They've been resting about 10 minutes. I've got my cooker coming up to temp. I'm going to go ahead and get a glaze on these chops because we're going to have it searing pretty hot, and I don't want to have to brush them in there. And so I just want it to be a light glaze anyway. I want to get some char on that meat. I think that's phenomenal when it comes to barbecue. You just want to put a light coat on this. I didn't let this reduce down that long to thicken up too much. Like I said, I'm just getting a little light coat on it. It'll help complement the honey chipotle rub from the heat and salt, pepper, garlic, the savory note. Now we're going to get these turned over and get them the rest of the way glazed up, and we'll be right back in a minute so we can char them up. All right, now we've got a light glaze brushed on our chops. We're going to get ready to char them up. Remember, they've come up to about 125, 128. We're going to get them seared off, get them to 145 to 150, pull them and let them rest. See, I got the Golden's cast iron really good and hot. I'm only going to do about 3 of these at a time. I'm going to get it shut down. I'm going to wait about a minute and a half, and I'm going to go back in there for some more. All right, we've already flipped our chops once. We're going to get back in there and flip them again and probably move them over to the cold side again so we can put the other chops on. They'll all be done at the same time. All right, now you can see we've been grilling our chops for about 10 to 12 minutes now over the hot flames, and we've got the grill marks we want, and I'm just that kind of guy. I want a pretty picture. So I've moved them over here. They're finishing off. I've got 3 of them done. 2 of the big ones are almost done. And so these right here, this one here, and this one here, and this one here is all hitting, and this one is all hitting 147 degrees, 48. And so I want to get them pulled off and rest. These 2 right here are about 140. So I'm going to leave them on there a few more minutes just to come on up to 145. We're going to pull them. We'll be back at the cutting board. All right, just to recap, we reverse seared a double cut bone-in pork chop. I've got one resting here on the cutting board. I've got 2 more plated up over here, and I've got some grilled asparagus wrapped in bacon with our citrus rub on it. Got some sweet potatoes brushed in olive oil and a little bit of our pecan rub. Now, what I forgot at the house was the butter, because we're at our shop, to make a little bit of honey butter drizzle to drizzle over that. It would have been excellent. But I'm going to go ahead and cut it in the shop. It's been resting, like I said, about 10 minutes, and we're going to see what we got. Look at that Heritage Cheshire Farm pork. Now I'm going to go ahead and slice us a bite of that off. A couple of them still warm. I love the little bit of char that it gets on the grill like that with the charcoal. That roll oak charcoal does the trick. That spicy orange charred flavor, that honey chipotle rub is excellent. We love it. Remember, take your tangy vinegar sauce, 1 cup, with 1 cup of orange marmalade, reduce it down a little bit. If you want to get more with it, you can always add a little bit of brown sugar or a little bit of honey to make it even sweeter. But this bite is incredible. Hope y'all like the recipe that I put out today. Please subscribe to our channel. Enjoy.